What's up, beautiful people? I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand. And today we are talking about why you are not seeing success on YouTube. There are a lot of videos out there on how to create a successful channel. But what if you're feeling like you are doing all of these things and you still aren't seeing the success? That's why I kind of want to come from this point of view of like, what actually sucks on your channel, for lack of better terms, and how can you fix that? And so I do think that YouTube is worth playing the long-term game with. I have been on all the platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And for me, YouTube is the one that's worth the most effort. I feel like the payoff is the best, and even like quite literally in terms of AdSense, but also just the platform in general. I feel like it's the most creator friendly. Like they really put their creators first, and YouTube is kind of like tried and true. Even though they've brought shorts, for the most part, like it is what it is. Like they're not constantly making all of these different changes to where you feel like you don't even know what to do on the platform anymore. So if you are on YouTube and you're not seeing the success, let's go through some of the things that might suck on your channel that you don't really realize. All right, let's get into it. And please know that this is coming from the heart. I am not trying to be mean, but I'm just telling you the truth. Number one, your thumbnails suck, okay? And when I say they suck, I mean that they are not grabbing anybody's attention. And this is one of the biggest ways that you can change the trajectory of your channel. Now, you don't have to have super fancy thumbnails. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you need to have thumbnails that are eye-catching, that are well-designed or well thought out. And there are so many different ways that you can do this. There is no one-size-fits-all thumbnail rule, but here are the main criteria that I have. Number one, the photo has to be clear. Even if the photo is like a screenshot or like a screen grab and you're going for more of that in the moment kind of candid thumbnail look, it still needs to be very clear. So even if you take that screenshot, if your video settings aren't very clear, I would still go ahead and take that screenshot, put it into an editing software, bump up the brightness, bump up some of the contrast or the vibrance or whatever, and really make that screen grab pop. It should still look like a high quality image, even though it's not like a superposed thumbnail. Second thing is, if you are gonna have text on your thumbnail, please make the text very clear to read. The last thing you want is for somebody to be on mobile and the thumbnail is this big, quite literally, and they can't read what it says. So make sure that your thumbnails, if you have text, it's very clear, a clear font, a clear color against whatever image it's up against. And also, you're not using too many words. I think the more simple the thumbnail, honestly, most of the time the better it performs, but I have seen a lot of people have a pretty busy thumbnail style and it works for them. So I would say the biggest thing with thumbnails is finding your style. You might have to experiment with a few different thumbnail techniques and then see what performs the best on your channel and then kind of lean into that. Don't be afraid to keep using the same thumbnail style over and over again, because that gives your videos more branding and helps people identify that it's yours. The biggest thing with thumbnails is that they do need to tell some type of story. So it needs to be representative of what you are talking about in the video without giving everything away. So even if you're doing a haul, you probably want to show a few of the outfits that you have in the haul, but you don't want to show every single outfit that you have in the haul. Maybe like your top 3 outfits that you hauled. And that way, you know, people are enticed to then come in and see some of the other ones or whatever. But I think that the thumbnail is really important to tell a story, show some type of emotion that complements your title. Number 2 is you are not telling a story. Your video is not telling a story and your channel is not telling a story. You want your audience to have some idea of what is the purpose of this person's channel and what is the purpose of this person's video. You want to be able to hook them right off the top, and whether that's through like video footage, or if you do sit downs, you do want to have some type of hook that they can relate to so that they're more inclined to watch at the end of the to the end of the video. So having some type of hook that kind of grabs the attention, that is relatable to the person on the other side if you're doing more information videos. But if you aren't, like, starting your videos off, if you have vlogs with really good music and like really good cuts and showing some of the interesting parts of your day before you kind of get into the vlog, these are ways that you can hook your audience, tell the story, and, make it just engaging and fun to watch. And that story, there needs to be some type of storytelling component in the thumbnail as well. So telling the story needs to be infused throughout your thumbnails, the actual videos, and then the overall channel. Number 3 is that perhaps your lighting or your audio sucks. This is a big one. It's really, obviously, you can go out and buy great gear, but you want to be shooting in really good light. And this is one of the things that often gets really overlooked. And a lot of novice creators, they go out and buy all this gear, which is fine, but you also want to know when your best lighting is. Like wherever you're going to be filming, the best thing you can do is use natural light. So if you are doing sit down videos like this, like I'm in my office, I know the time of day that these videos need to be shot so that I have quality daylight. I also use other lighting too, but for the most part, like I don't have a super high-end lighting setup. I just keep it really simple and mostly capitalize off of daylight. So natural light is your best friend, but when you are a creator and you're creating at night and you have a ring light and it's just like a super harsh light and we can see all these shadows, it really, really, really taints the quality of your video and it can make it just look not good. And so if you have bad lighting, I would highly recommend trying to shoot during a time where your light is much more, much better, and capitalize off of daylight instead of trying to use lighting, because lighting really is a skill. So I would recommend having maybe a soft box light, but to have a ring light, I would say, like, you guys, like, let's just give way with the ring lights, because ring lights are really, really harsh. And honestly, there are just so many better ways to light your space. If you do have a ring light, make sure you have some type of filter you're putting over it. So even if it's a white sheet, to kind of diffuse the lighting so it's not so harsh. You don't see those super harsh rings in your eyes and all of that stuff. So making sure your lighting is really good. Another thing is your audio. So if audio sounds super hollow, if it sounds far away, if you are shooting if you're vlogging and it's windy, or you're shooting outside and people can't hear you, that is one of the fastest ways that people will click off. So it costs like $20 to get those little mics that attach to your phone, or a little shotgun mic. They're like $35-$40 that you can put on your camera, like a DSLR. I have them. I use it on my Nikon Z30 or my ZF. And it is great if you're shooting, like if you're vlogging with an arm's length. I will leave a full gear video linked in the description as well. But overall, you want to make sure that lighting and that audio is great. The reason I didn't talk about camera quality is because the better your audio and the better your lighting, the better the quality of the camera, whatever camera you're using, is going to look. Next reason why your channel might not be picking up is because you're not being consistent enough. Now, when I say this, I don't mean that you need to be posting every single day or even multiple times a week, but you need to find the cadence that works the best for you and stick to it. I even think now, you can upload every week on the same exact day, but now that there's so much content in the world, I feel like people don't really keep up as much with like when people are uploading. As long as they're continuously seeing you pop up on their YouTube homepage. Like, there are some creators that I follow, I have no idea what their upload schedule is. I don't even know if they have one, but when I go on every couple of days, I'm seeing a new video that they've posted. And so I think that's the most important part, is not necessarily about having this super rigid schedule of like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Friday, or whatever. Like, if that works for you, then great. But I think the biggest thing with YouTube now is just making sure you're consistently putting up content. And the best thing to do with that is just like, what is the most frequently I can put it up without compromising the quality? So if that looks like once a week for you, then put a video up once a week. I think once a week is the bare minimum. If you cannot commit to once a week, then in terms of long form, then I would say you might not be ready to start on YouTube just yet. I also think it's important to prioritize shorts. So if you have one long form video that you're posting a week, and then you're supplementing that with 3 or 4 shorts sprinkled throughout the rest of the week. Maybe they're repurposed TikToks or repurposed Reels. That's also a way to keep yourself relevant in the YouTube algorithm. Another reason you might not be seeing any results on YouTube is because your content doesn't have a consistent vibe or flow or theme or just some type of common thread. On YouTube, even though I don't think you need to niche per se, because I think niching really narrows you in, there is still relevance in having some type of common thread in your content. I'm not saying your whole channel needs to be about how to grow on YouTube, but maybe your channel, the common thread is growth in life and business, kind of like mine. I would say that that's kind of my channel's cadence. So it's like, yes, we talk about growing as a creator. Yes, we talk about growing as an entrepreneur. And yes, I talk about growing as a woman and just growing in life. And so that is kind of the common thread of my channel. People come here for a specific reason. They want to be encouraged. They want to be enlightened. They want to be inspired, and they want to learn something. And so you want to make sure that your channel is not just super, super random. I could probably post like a fashion haul, but maybe it would be a work from home, like my favorite Amazon finds for working from home, instead of just like a random haul. It still kind of goes with the vein of my channel. So having some type of foundation for your channel, and I talk a lot about layering on this channel, which is the technique that I have kind of coined and called it. But I also have a YouTube playbook that goes through all of these things we're talking about, all the gear, lighting, audio equipment you need, and I even have it set in bundles to make it easier for you to know like what to buy with what. Just how to theme out your content and figure out what your channel's vibe is. I have so much stuff packed into this YouTube playbook. It is all you will need if you are looking to grow your YouTube channel in a short amount of time and get monetized. So make sure you check that out. I will leave it in the description, because I think if you're finding these these little tips to be helpful, then this playbook goes into way more depth and is such a great resource for you if you're trying to grow on YouTube. Last tip is you're trying to be what you see, and you aren't bringing any type of uniqueness to the platform or to your content. And so we're not getting your personality. We're not getting the real you. And this has become such a big problem in the influencer / content creator world, because it starts to feel like you're just seeing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, because everyone follows all these big creators who have kind of started doing something a certain way, and then everyone kind of just follows suit and wants to do the same thing, because if it worked for them, it should work for me, right? Not necessarily. And so you have to figure out, of course, you can take inspiration from people, and you can look at their content and kind of pick out what you love about it, or maybe what you don't love about it, and how you can make that your own in some kind of way. I see nothing wrong with getting inspiration from other creators. That's the whole point. But at the same time, you want to know, like, what is my personality? What do I bring to the table? Why am I special? Like, what can people get from me, who I am, and not just who I'm picturing that I need to be for the sake of creating content. And so make sure you keep your personality into the content, and like really try to lead with that, because That is what makes you unique, okay? I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to check out the YouTube playbook, y'all. It is so good. I spent so much time on this because I really wanted a great resource for anybody who is trying to grow on YouTube. I know I have a lot of videos in here on YouTube about it, but I wanted something that was more action oriented that you can use to track how much time you're spending on editing and like really seeing your progress over the weeks as you grow on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. It's $10. I tried to make it as affordable as possible, but it is like a very comprehensive like playbook, and you can put it right on your iPad or on your computer or on your phone, and you can like type all of your stuff in there and just really keep track over time as you're trying to grow. All right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.